I have some tips for how to do your own sentences. First, the more specific, the better. If you're general, talking about all the flowers, all politics, all teachers, sometimes it's hard to get a meaningful sentence. So I would advise writing about people you know, writing about things that are important to you, to make your sentence memorable to you, to make your sentence meaningful to you. Next, I think it's really good to practice the language expressions that you see on the website in your own sentences. So if you're writing a sentence using consequence, it's great to try to use this phrase in there. And maybe you can match it to the idea here, consequence of overpopulation. And then we have consequence for, right? Maybe you can write a sentence using this phrase, consequence for, and try to fit that in. It's really great to use these language expressions in your own writing because this is how you will sound more advanced in English. This is how you will sound more native, and even you'll impress your future teachers, your future professors, your future employers with how well you're able to use academic words fluently in your language. And the only way you'll get good at it is if you practice. And this is the best place to practice. Now I think that's about it about this vocabulary notebook. Just some information about due dates and how these work. First, I will always tell you when the vocabulary notebook due date is. Your notebook will never be due the day after it's assigned. This is a pretty long-term project. Every unit will do a notebook, so we'll do 4 probably. And at the very beginning of each unit, I'll let you know that we're starting our notebook. I'll tell you which articles, vocabulary words we're using. Every unit has way more vocabulary words than we are going to use for our notebook. So wait for me. That's a good thing I'll put there. Wait for me to assign the list to you. I'm not having you do every vocabulary word in the unit, just a few lists to make about 12 to 15 vocabulary words each unit. Again, it's never due the day after it's assigned. It's usually due about maybe a week and a half after it's assigned. I always give my students a weekend. So whether I assign it Thursday and it's due maybe the Thursday after that, you get a weekend. Or if I assign it Tuesday, it's due the Thursday after that, you get a week and a half. So I try to do about a week and a half, but always give you a weekend to get these together. I always collect your notebook. I look it over and I return it. You will have time to edit your vocabulary notebook before a quiz. I really like doing quizzes because quizzes give you a reason to study and a reason to learn. Most of us are not motivated to the point where we'll just study to study, but I found if I give a quiz, even if it's not too hard or it's pretty easy, students end up learning the words much better. And questions are always welcome. I'm happy to go over your notebook ahead of time, ahead of the due date, or answer any questions you might have. So as you're doing this notebook, I hope you're not doing it all the night before, all 15 words, all 12 words, just the day before. But hopefully you're working on it a little at a time, And when you run into problems, when you run into questions, you can always ask me. And when you bring it in, just bring it in right before class, ask me right after class, and I'd be happy to walk you through, go to the website with you, and help you with your sentences that you've done. I found students who do that usually do very well on quizzes, usually do very well in the class, actually. It really shows that you're working hard and trying to improve, and so that's always helpful. Well, I think that's it. Remember, if anything was difficult to understand this time around, watch my video again. You can also bring questions to class, but if at any point the structure of your notebook is not quite there, if this format is not in your notebook, last minute thing, you see how I have dictionary definition, reading example. Always put those into your vocabulary notebook, even though they're just guides. It's very, very helpful to write those for yourself and for me. So this is a really great example of what your vocabulary notebook entry should look like. If it was pretty simple for you to walk through the process with me here, it should be pretty simple for you to do this on your own for most words. A lot of times people come up with questions about the language expressions, are really common to have questions, and that's fine. That's not a problem. And we can go over them together in class or go over them one-on-one. But the best thing to do is to try. If you have any questions, go back to the video, rewatch to make sure that you just didn't catch something the first time. Maybe the second time it will be easier. But if you still have questions, come and talk to me. Okay, guys, well, I hope you have a good first round and a good first attempt at doing this notebook. I probably gave you a little bit of a homework assignment along with this, watching this video, but I hope this will be a help to you, not just in doing your notebook, but also in improving your English both this semester and beyond. See you next time.